Hello everyone and welcome to my channel again. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can use OBS Studio and understanding the layout to do live streaming online. Also, this video is the first part of a different videos I'll be producing on explaining the different settings and different parts of the software so you can start using OBS Studio as your live streaming software. Hi there, my name is Juan Carlos Tafur from Innovative Creative Solutions, innovative and personalized video solution services to help you and your company to communicate better. Thank you for watching my channel, and please, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell for you to know more about what I do here. Also, don't forget to leave me your comments and questions. In the description box below, you will find all the links of the things I'll mention in this video, as well as important information for you to check it out. So let's push into it. Before you start working with OBS Studio, it is necessary to know the basic system requirements you may need as for your hardware and operating system to function. This may vary depending on the chosen encoder, resolution, FTP, and/or Zing complexity you may have for your presentations or recordings. These are just some basic system requirements based on OBS Studio. As for Windows users, you may need a DirectX 10.1 compatible GPU and use an operating system Windows 7 SP1 or newer. And for Mac users, you may need an OpenGL 3.2 compatible GPU and an operating system Mac OS 10.12 or newer. Also check your internet connection to make sure you have the right upload speed to set the better settings in OBS Studio. In the description box below, you may find the links where you can go and check your internet speed. Let's look at some samples you can use for your live streaming setup based on your bitrate. The upload number provided to you is the one that is going to dictate what kind of settings you may have. So these are just some samples, and you can also try to see which one suits the best for you depending on how much speed you may have and also the kind of system you can provide in your computer. I must suggest to you also that you play with these settings as you go and you know more about OBS Studio, and then at the end you can just have the better options for you that might serve you better for your live streaming experiences. Before you start using OBS Studio, try to familiarize yourself with the whole layout and the whole system first. This will save you a lot of time and headaches later on. As you go, you will find later the best settings for you to have better time to go online and record your screen. When you start OBS Studio for the first time, you should see the audio configuration wizard. If you are new to OBS or just want to get started as quickly as possible, follow the steps to get good starting settings for your setup. If you only see the main OBS Studio window, you can access the audio configuration wizard in the tools menu at the top if you are using a Mac. This wizard will automatically test your system and attempt to find settings that your PC or Mac can handle. After you are done with the audio configuration wizard, next you'll see that the preview is a black screen. OBS doesn't capture any video by default. To get started capturing, you need to add source. I'll explain in more detail how the sources and the scenes work in the future videos. At the bottom of the window, there is a box called Sources. You can start adding sources to the scene by either clicking on the plus sign button or by doing right mouse click and then add a source. In order to start fetching the video to OBS Studio, we are going to add the video capture device. Then this window will show up and then we're gonna click OK. From here, this drop-down menu, you have the different camera options. In this case, since I have my DSLR camera connected to my Link 4K, which is the one that I normally use when I'm doing live streaming, or my computer camera. In this case, I want to choose my Link 4K. And I'm gonna click OK. Before I do the OK button, here on the preset, normally the resolution is going to be the highest one. In this case, it's going to be the HD resolution. So I make sure that one is clicked and then I click OK. Now that we have fetched our video into OBS, now we have the option to either resize and accommodate this square wherever we want. So I'm going to be explaining today just the basic settings for you to get you started and start with OBS Studio. In this case, I want to show you step by step all the different settings on how to capture the video, how you capture audio and everything else. So pretty much all the settings are very self-explanatory. Some they come by default. Once you install your audio configuration wizard and you follow the instructions, everything should be ready to go. But in case you don't understand something from the beginning, I'm going to explain step by step the different settings and then you can follow through. Try to leave some parts by default as OBS already have them, unless you already familiarize yourself and you're doing a lot of streaming with OBS and you know all the different configurations, because it might cause you some trouble. It might force the machine you're using, and also the resolution is not gonna be good when you're live streaming. So let's start by either going to settings here at the bottom, also access settings by going to OBS if you're using a Mac, and then preferences. As we are here right now in settings, in general, we can see that from here you can either select your language, the theme style, and different other options that is going to be beneficial for your live streaming events or recording your screens. In this case, I will just talk about the language selection, that you can select the language that you want, or you can also select the theme style. This is more like personal taste. Normally I leave it dark, which is the default option from OBS. In this part you can select all this if you want confirmation when you're streaming, when you're recording, when you're stopping your recordings and things like that. Normally I leave those off. And this, they automatically record when streaming. If you are recording at the same time you're doing live streaming, it can be heavier on the system. So I recommend that you use a third-party software like maybe Ecamm if you are a Mac user. It's going to be up to you, and I recommend that you check, of course, from the beginning all the system or your system on Windows or Mac, and it's going to be easier for you to understand better what capacity you have. You can record and live streaming at the same time. The rest of that, the snap sources to edge or off screen or snap sources to other sources, this pretty much is this. I'm going to just cancel this out, and is this square, and you can see how this thing snaps to the edge. So if I want to move this, and let's say I want to have something different here, and I just want to bring my camera to the bottom, it'll perfectly snap to the bottom part. So if I don't select that, let's say I'm check this and I hit apply. If I move this, it just goes through. It doesn't snap. So I don't want that. So I prefer to leave it like this. Looks cleaner, looks better. Alright, so let's continue. I will leave the rest of the settings as they come with OBS Studio. So let's go to stream. Here in the stream, you have these options. The service that you want to stream in, these are the main ones: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Restream, and Twitter. If you want a more complete list, depending on the location, on the place that you are, here you can click on the drop-down menu and it'll show you all the different live streaming software, or the whole different applications where you can do live streaming. And then you can select the one that fits your needs. So in this case, I'm just gonna go with YouTube, and then I'm going to leave the server as it is right now. This is by default selected, so I'm going to leave it like that. In order for me to get that stream key in YouTube, I can click here, or I can go directly to YouTube and get it from there. In a video, that I did previously, I already explained on how you can do live streaming on YouTube using a DSLR camera, and I explained the different settings and the different things that you can do in order to start doing live streaming on YouTube. So you can check the video. The link is going to be at the bottom. Check the video and make sure you understand everything, and from there you can get the key. That is one option. The other option is if your channel is already set up to do live streaming. If you click here, it's going to take you to this screen right here, and you can select the different options that this thing will show you. So I'm not going to go in detail on this because I already, like as I mentioned before, I already explained how to work with YouTube when you're doing live streaming. So follow through and then come back and plug in the stream key for you to continue. All right, I'll see you then. All right, so we are here again, and I have got my key and I plug it in right here. Make sure this key is just for you. You don't share this with anybody else, just for security reasons. So once you have that, you can click OK, and you're gonna be able now to stream from OBS to YouTube. If you want to do the same thing with Facebook, just follow the same process. This is for the stream part. Now if we go to output, here we have two different options. We have the simple option and the advanced option. I'm not gonna go in detail in the advanced option because I just want to focus on pretty much the basics setup for you to get you, to get you started. So in this case, the streaming part, the video bitrate. This is the part that I explained before, the different settings that you can have based on your system requirements and based on your upload speed of your internet. You can select this number right here. You can change this number right here. Normally, based on my system, I use 6000, and that is because my system and my internet speed, since my system and my internet speed, they are both very fast. Now they give me the option for me to live stream in 6000 kbps or kilobytes per second, and also in full HD at 60 FPS. So I recommend you, as mentioned before, that you check your system for you to know exactly what this number can be used. So I will leave the rest as the way it is. This is just to select where you want to store your recordings from your screen, and also the recording quality. I just want to explain that the higher the quality, the more heavy the file is. Your system will be taxed. So make sure, normally I select the same as stream. This is default by OBS, so I leave it the way it is. In the recording format, I prefer the MP4. Make sure you read this before you continue to make sure everything is going to be good. It's going to be okay with all the different settings that you're plugging in. So the more you know OBS, the better you select your settings in the future. So I will leave everything else as it is, and in the audio part, you have the option to change the sampling rate, which it can be between 44.1, which is pretty much the standard one, and 48 kHz. Normally, the system chooses the 44.1, so I leave it the way it is. The channels, you can select different channels. I will leave it as stereo. In here, if you are a Mac user and you notice that this part right here at the bottom is not moving, it's because OBS doesn't really select the microphone by default in the Mac. It does in a PC. So as you can see right here on the desktop audio, I need to have an auxiliary microphone connected to it in order for me to have audio. So I go here to microphone auxiliary audio, and I can select either the microphone that is coming from my Cam Link 4K, which is my camera, and I have a microphone connected there, or that comes from my portable audio device, my Zoom H6. So either one is gonna work for me, but I need to have an external audio device. So if you're a Mac user, you need to have an extra app called I Show You, which is an audio capture to capture desktop audio. And again, this is for Mac users. And again, this is due to limitations in Mac OS that provide no direct capture methods for desktop audio devices. So I recommend, if you don't have an extra microphone, to check this software in order for you to be able to use OBS and recognize the microphone in your computer. Besides this, I will leave everything else as it is. So if we go to video, now we have different options here. We have the base canvas resolution, the output scale resolution, the downscale filter, and the FPS values. The base canvas resolution is pretty much the size of the primary screen that you're using. In this case, my screen is 2516 by 1440. So this is going to be the resolution that is coming from my computer when I'm recording. The output scale resolution is the size of the resolution that you're going to be using while you're doing the live stream. Normally, it goes up to HD. So I'm going to choose just Full HD, and I'm going to leave this as it is since this is the default, or I can use Lactos, which it helps a lot in downscaling from this size, which is my screen, to this size, which is the size that I'm going to be doing my live streaming part. So, and then I'm going to select 60 to go with the best possible, highest resolution quality. So, play with these numbers to make sure which one is going to be the best for you. So these normally are my numbers and my selections, and remember, I'm choosing 6000 kilobytes per second in this option, and in my video I'm choosing Full HD with 60 FPS. Try to do that and see if that works for you. Otherwise, try to follow the same instructions I explained before to see when you're downscaling that, which one works better for you. In the part of the hotkeys, this is going to work as a video changer for you. Normally I use the Stream Deck from Elgato. You can check the link for you, the bottom, to know more information about it. But at this right here, you can use your keyboard as your pretty much video changer. You can start, you can stop streaming. You can start or stop your streamings or recordings. You can hide and show sources, switch to a specific scene or source, push to talk or push to mute, things like that. So I suggest that you check this out and kind of play with it to make sure you understand all the different parts that are listed here. So this is going to be very, very beneficial for you. Normally I don't use it because I use the Stream Deck from Elgato, and that works very well for me. So if you want more information about the Stream Deck from Elgato, again, visit the website at the bottom for you to know more information about it. And finally, on the advanced tab, I will leave this as it is, unless that you really know your way in OBS Studio back and forward, so that you can change this. Otherwise, I will leave this as it is, and I just plug the rest of the information I explained on the other ones, and now you're ready to go. So if I click apply and OK, I can now start doing live stream. Of course, there is a long way to go. I just explained today the basic settings on how you can set up everything. Very basic, following either your audio configuration wizard or doing it yourself. Once you understand more how the bitrate works, that kind of system you have, that kind of internet speed you also have, you can start playing with either the resolution or the bitrate, the FPS, and things like that for you to get a better quality live streaming experience. So I hope this video was beneficial for you, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also to leave me your comments. I will be happy to answer all the questions based on my knowledge and my experiences. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social media channels to continue knowing what I'm doing. Again, subscribe to my channel and make sure you are updated on the stuff that I'm talking here. I'm going to be creating more videos on how you can use DSLR cameras, how you can do different settings for live streaming, using live streaming apps and things like that. So stay connected, and I'll see you next time.